guys, a few months ago, this 80-acre field was underwater. So we decided to hire a tiling company, Farmland Drainage Tile, Marlette, Michigan. And they tiled it. 22 miles of tile they laid in here. If you remember, the center ditch was cut, emptied out by my brother with our excavator so we could go down to the main drain and head east to Canada. I want to show you the total project from start to finish, from the flood to a planted crop of corn. Let's go. We kept this field hay for close to 7 years, which is longer than we had liked, but we knew once we ripped it up, we weren't going to be able to farm pieces of it. The pattern tiled this basically one 80-acre field into 4 sections. Some going on an angle, some going straight. Just the way the land lays, it needed to be done the right way for it to drain. These T-flags you're seeing, looks like we got a miniature golf course out here. This is where your tile runs are coming in. Now he's had to run a couple big 8-inch mains. A lot of guys you asking what size tile. Well, multiple 8-inch mains, because there's a swamp across Wheeling Road that comes over into this field, almost a non-stop flow. I showed you that in past videos. 8-inch, 6-inch, 4-inch. And on some higher end in that back corner where it lays, got a nice roll to it, he only used 3-inch. It saved us just a little bit of money, because in some center pieces in here where it's pure muck and it's kind of a little swale, he used a sock around that tile, and that was a little bit more money, but it helps from keeping the soot from getting in that tile and plugging it. This was the last field of corn that we planted, so she's pretty far behind our other ones. Our other ones are probably 2 foot tall by now, but being tiled now, and this is such light soil, coming off of a hay field. On top of that, this field's going to catch up fairly quick. You always follow corn after a hay field if you can, because there's a lot of nitrogen that's wrapped up in this soil. And the challenge was getting all these clumps of hay busted up. So what we did was, once we got the tile project done, you want to go in there and disc them mounds and those of where the tile was laid, disc them down, bust them up. Basically the whole field needed it because it was a hay, so we were just trying to beat them clumps up, run them up. Did a pretty good job from start to finish. You didn't get all of it, but if you see the soil being, a lot of it's just black muck, we did the best we could. So all this was just work with a disc. And that planter we got's got them big Ross and Coulters. It helped dig a trench to get through. It was, Dad said he planted it. It was his last field. Someone was out here drinking an old glass bottle. But Dad said it was really rough planting. You know, he probably only planted her at 4 miles an hour. But nonetheless, got the job done. It'll be a lot better now that there's a crop in it. From here on out, every year it's just going to get better and better. We had to bite that bullet. You know, it was over $1,000 an acre to tile. You know, so that's up, I think it was roughly $90,000, 80-acre piece. Tiling's one of those things up here in Michigan. A lot of you guys will ask you, don't you guys irrigate? Don't you do this? No, we tile. We're blessed to get lots of rainfall, adequate rainfall, I should say. Sometimes too much rainfall, which is why the tile comes in, run it to the ditch so it don't flood the crop out. So being that it was $90,000, it's like, how the heck do you, what kind of payoff is that? Well, they say it's roughly an 8-year payoff, but beyond the payoff, you'll be able to get in here and plant this first every year now. It went from being a headache, a hassle, to now it's going to be one of your best fields. You'll be proud to be farming it. You'll get the job done. No getting stuck, no combine. Breakdowns. You get a lot of breakdowns when you get stuck, and a lot of injuries when you get stuck. So the tile helps with that. You know, I'm accounting for that in the price. But biggest thing is, farmland sells for over $2,000 more an acre, roughly, if not more, per acre if it's tiled. So if this piece of ground was, say, $6,000 an acre, if it was tiled, you could sell it for $8,000 an acre. Well, right then and there. Now the caveat is we're not selling this. We don't plan to ever sell this. But you've made an investment in the land, and you've already doubled your investment, because $1,000 an acre is about what it costs, a little over. But you're picking up $2,000 an acre if you ever want to go sell it. And on top of it, you're gaining that much more yield, that much more, I don't want to say easiness, but that much more comfortability working it, tilling it. I had a guy comment, and he said, tile farm ground makes farming fun. And there's a lot of truth to that. See, there's a piece of alfalfa right there that never got, that's still growing. A lot of alfalfa was left in here, even though it was about a 7-year hayfield. My uncle was wondering when we were going to rip this up, but we were banking on buying it and then being able to tile it, because when you go and rip up a field like this, like I said, there was spots where we were probably going to get stuck. But back to the investment of the tile. If you were to sell it, and I've learned to say this, never say never. Never say never in farming, but in life in general, never say never. I say we'll never sell it, but never say never. If we did, you're just going to get that much more for it. So tiling is a very lucrative thing here in Michigan if you got a good guy doing it. Someone could have just came in here and tiled this straight on if they wanted. But talking with that Ryan, he showed me the grid. He said, the way I did it took a lot longer, you know, 22 miles in total, and that would have been, no matter how they tiled it, probably. But he said there was 255 connections. 255 connections the way he did that. So this was a very labor intensive for him, but he takes pride in his work. He drew up a beautiful diagram for us, that we'll keep. And like I said, the project completed, went from flooded field that you could only really grow hay on, and we used to do that in the past. If you had a wet piece, you would just put it to hay. Well, time was up, and we wanted to grow row crop on this, so we got our tiles. So I hope that explained a little bit about the tiling and how you get your payback on it. But it's a good investment. It makes life easier, and this is for years to come. Like Ryan says, this tile is going to get better every year, and hey, that's what it's all about, trying to keep this family farm rolling for another 75 years. The only way of doing that is being smart, thinking outside the box, working hard, busting your butt. That's a given. That's obvious. But thinking and using your head, now that's, you put them together and you'll actually get somewhere. Move down the field a little bit further. This was one of them low spots. Still low, but drains. So the beautiful part is, it doesn't matter where the dips are. Leave a comment below how many of you guys tile your fields. You've got fields yet to be tiled, or maybe you don't like tile. Maybe you don't believe in tile. Leave a comment, give me your reasoning. We've actually got a few, a handful, a few more farms, 70 acres or plus, that we need to be done, need to be tiled. It's tough to do one every year. It's a hard chunk to bite off every year, 80-90 grand like that. But when you reap the benefits of it, I always say, hey, the boys and I aren't out buying campers and motor homes and stuff. Instead, we're making our life easier through our work. That's the benefit when you get guys that can work together and have that same drive and focus. We're not trying to buy a vacation home. This right here, this is what makes us happy, makes our life easier. Yep, and look at it right now. As dry as it's been, she's still draining as we speak. So this corn's gonna catch up pretty darn quick, I can tell you that. Yeah, very blessed to be on a family farm like this. They have a dad and two brothers with the same mission, same goal, same mindset, same attitude, really, of just working together and getting ahead, milking cows. I know it's rare. Some of you guys that farm, you'll comment and you'll say, man, wish I had two brothers like that. Well, it's a rare situation. You're not gonna find it's happened in the past, but now as society's changing, evolving, everything's changing. It's constantly changing. For guys to get along like that, it's rare. And that's why I say get along, because that's probably the biggest factor. And guys that want to get up and go to work every day, it's part of your life. You don't really look at it as work when you love what you're doing. It's the special thing we got going. Like I tell my buddy when we're chit-chatting, he's got 20 years on me, but I'll tell him, I look at life like it's a garden. You just gotta dig it. You gotta constantly be digging it. You didn't do well in one crop the year before, change it up. Every year's a new opportunity, a new season. And so far this season, it's going pretty well. The year of 2026, crops are looking pretty good. See a bunch of weeds around on this end here. It turns to muck. The sprayer just left here a couple days ago. Well, that's why they're still green, but they're wilting. They're not dead yet, but they will be. He got in here and sprayed this just in time because this corn's about to take off. There's a flag. A lot of flags they had in this field. A lot of everything. This I can't. I'm not trying to. This was a major project, and we knew it would be the last field to plant, so we took our time, and we got it done. That's the bottom line, because you guys remember it was a war zone out here, but we got through it, and it's going to be a prime beautiful field. That's a balloon. Someone had one of them hot balloons.